still trying to make it to Mars years later. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one day they get there. All right, here we go. And shouts out to all the people for the holidays that can't be with us. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody's around their family about this time. So we gonna kick it off week 13. Hood money, big Benny Boom right here for you. You know what I'm saying? We got the boys, we got the W's, we got the streak still going. We trying to get a further streak going. We just trying to get more W's at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because we this week we're going for our longest streak of hood money, and we got guaranteed money on the board. So you know what I'm saying? We seen a lot of things. My man from the street said he was gonna throw some fads. 10 out of 12 the last 3 weeks. Like I was saying, you know what I'm saying? It's been a good couple weeks for hood money. We getting those W's. We headed for the stretch run this week 13 out here. The recap boy, we almost had a W. Monday night let us down once again. Prime time action. I don't know how. We had Panthers plus the money, and as you see, Panthers didn't quite make it. You know what I'm saying? There was, there it is. Basically the Eagles and the Panthers cost us. The Eagles and the Bills on this parlay right there. You know what I'm saying? Then the Lions won, but they didn't cover the spread, so that cost us the W because that -3 for the Jaguars would have avoided that pick out, and then we'd have won that. But 7 ain't 11, so we ain't covered that spread. Then, like I said, the Panthers and the Eagles on the last two cost us, and so the the prop bet wasn't that bad. Prop bet wasn't that bad. We came pretty close. We came pretty close there. 2 out of 4. That's pretty decent. We need 2 more to get it done. And like I said, my man from the streets, kicked it in the high gear right there. We number 2 for 4 up there. But 4 for 4, which amazing streak right there. Four straight for my man from the street to go 7-2-3 on the season. So been a pretty good season. Cranking those W's. We're gonna get at him later on for the picks and see what he got for us. As of now, you know what I'm saying? Patriots the best team out there, best team in the AFC. The Rams best team in the NFC. You know what I'm saying? It was a impossible comeback last week. It was a pretty gettable comeback last week as we went 1 for 2 on the no brainers. One of those question mark games like we had last year. Like I was telling you with the Houston and the Jets, it's a lot more going on in that Philly Dallas game, and that ended up costing us a W. But I don't want to get all into it, but here we go. Here we go. It's a whole new week. You know what I'm saying? We try and keep everything rolling here in money as we march towards 20, as we try to get toward 20 as fast as possible so we can get to 30 and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Here's the big board right here. Right here. It's at you. And try to fit it in. Big board, big board does big things. I can't fit it all in. All right, well, here it is. There it is. All right. We got Thanksgiving matchups. We got every game this week. There's no buys this week. We'll be buys next week. But we got a full slate out there. Full slate. First game will be Packers. Packers in the early window, 1 o'clock game, taking on the Lions. Lions are gonna be at home. Lions are looking to get back in that number 1 spot. Both of them looking to get back in the number 1 spot right now, because as of now, the Bears are in that spot. Don't see them staying up there for long. But these teams are gonna bump heads later on in the season. This is one of those matchups. Packers Lions is always gonna be tough. Lions trying to get things back together. Packers trying to keep everything good after some injuries with the receivers and Jordan Love's subpar play. They try and get back to the winning ways. I don't see it happening. Thursday games have been tricky all year. All year they look like they've been upsets. So I didn't take this game. But I would take the Lions at home on the short week. Just because it is a short week and you got to travel and all that goes into it. Our next matchup was, like I said last week, was a no-brainer. It was two comebacks, one for the Chiefs and one for the Cowboys last week. Chiefs, like I said, they was going to take care of business against the Colts. Go ahead, book that. And what I was also saying that the Cowboys would fall, and it looked like it for the first half, and then all of a sudden the Eagles forgot how to play football coming out the second half. That's the only way you can explain them not scoring a point in the second half. And that cost them the game. Cowboys rattled off 24 straight points. For some reason, they're still in the playoff conversation. They have two tough teams to play. The Chiefs this week, the Lions next week. It's going to be a buzz, so I don't see them getting where they need to go. I don't see them winning this game. I'm going to take the Chiefs going on the road. The Chiefs, this is a gotta-have-it game for them. The AFC, you're going to need a lot of wins in there. And like I said, the Cowboys are pretty much playing spoiler at this point, so wouldn't look to see the Chiefs fall. They're going to be focused. They're going to get that win. All right. In the late game, we got the Ravens. We got the Bengals. Ravens, Bengals. This is going to be an interesting matchup here. Lamar Jackson, he's been hurt the last few weeks. He keeps bouncing back and keeps playing, though, after that sustained injury a few weeks back. The Bengals trying to get Joe Burrow out there. They said they was talks to him. He was practicing fully. There's talks of him actually playing that night game. There's talks of it. I don't see it happening. I see them rolling out with Flacco one more time and giving him a chance to get that last W before he's resigned to the bench. I see the Ravens coming through in this crucial spot. The Ravens are first in their division after starting 1-5, and I look for them to keep on winning. Like I said, I look for the Chiefs and the Ravens to make the playoffs, so I'm going with the Ravens. All right, we got a Black Friday game. Black Friday. After everybody get that turkey in them, you sit back, you can watch the Eagles, you can watch the Bears. Number one in the North, number one in the East. It's going to be a big game. The bookie doesn't think it's going to be close because he has it at -7. I believe it's going to be closer than that. Chicago has been on an amazing run so far this season. After starting off slow, they are rattling off W after W. And the Eagles, you know what I'm saying? The Eagles were doing a lot of winning. And then, like I said, they just second half, they just came out super flat and ended up costing them the game. And so, they'll be looking to bounce back at home where they have a tremendous winning streak at home. I look for that to continue. But I would look for I would take the Eagles on the money line. This would be one where I take the Eagles on the money line. I'd take the Bears on the points. For betting purposes, I just went with the Eagles on the money line because we're going to try to get this money quick this week. You know what I'm saying? Our next matchup will be the Niners going on the road to play the Browns. Niners, a three-legged race out there in the NFC West. They all might make the playoffs, or, shoot, all three of the NFC North teams might make the playoffs. It's that tight out there. It's a lot of competition for those last spots. The Niners actually hold the last spot at 8-4. Yeah, it's unbelievable. 8-4 in the last spot. But they do have a pretty favorable schedule going forward, and they will run into those leaders up at the top in Seattle and the Rams. The Browns, well, they rolled out Deion Sanders last week, and it looked good. It looked as advertised. Like I said, I don't know why he was picked so low. I don't know why they didn't give him the starting job in the first place, but he is definitely a star in the league. He has great ball skills. He has great vision. You can see he can throw the ball a mile, and he has some good accuracy. And so it's for those reasons, I think the Browns will keep it close. I think that the hype is real, but I still see the Niners pulling it off. It'd be one of those games, once again, where I take the Niners on the money line and the Browns with the points on the road. All right, our next matchup is the AFC South matchup. Is the Jaguars and the Titans. Jaguars still holding on to a playoff spot. The Titans are still searching for that elusive second win on the season. Look to have that number one seed locked up for the year, unless something drastic happens in the next coming weeks. Jaguars, with that team that I told you will definitely fall out of the playoff spot. They took a loss last week. And this looks like a trap game for them. They're on the road against the Titans, who also played tough last week and covered that spread for us. Jaguars, they hit or miss out there. Sometimes you take them. Sometimes they're supposed to win against teams, and then they lose, and then they lose against teams they're supposed to beat. So for that reason I did actually take this game, but I just went on ahead and took Jaguars on the money line. That's usually my bet, and if it's more 1.5, it's going to be Jaguars money line because the way they play. And that'll take us to our next matchup in the South, which is Texans and Colts. This is the number one team versus the number two team. Colts have been stumbling the last couple of weeks, trying to put things back together, staying on top of that division. Texans are chasing them. Texans have been pretty decent over the last few weeks with both Shroud and then Davis Mills filling in for Shroud. Um, their D has definitely been improved since earlier this year, and they're putting up more points. Woody Marks looks good out there for them. They still have Nico Collins out there. On the coach side, Daniel Jones looks like he's going back to the old Daniel Jones. But he still has that cast around him. Needs to get the ball to Pittman and Taylor and the rookie Warren a little more, and they should be all right. I went on ahead and I took the Colts on the money line to get that game and stay in the race. They should still make the playoffs. Next matchup will be the Saints and the Dolphins. Tell the two teams that aren't really good, but there is some betting in here for the purpose that one coach is actually playing for his job every week, and the other one is just the shocking quarterback situation at the beginning of the season never got better. They're just trying some things. The Saints looked pretty decent last week. You know what I'm saying? They picked up the W, and the Dolphins, also kept going with the W. So both of them picked up W, even though they're nowhere near in playoff contention. Even though Miami is way on the outskirts. I think Miami gets his win at home. Just like I said, the coach is fighting for his job right now, and they at least have to have a decent record. They do have most of their starters out there, so it should be no problem to pick up this win at home against the Saints. The Saints shouldn't get too many more wins going down the stretch, and look for them to. I'm thinking of draft a quarterback, but there won't be a lot of good quarterbacks, like I said, in the draft. We'll get to that when we get to the college picks in a few weeks. All right. Our next matchup was a matchup I also didn't take. This was the only two matchups I didn't take. It was a Thursday first game. And this game with the Falcons and the Jets, Michael Penix, like I was saying, why he didn't get drafted high, his injury history. He's going to be on the shelf for the season. The Jets, of course, turned away from Fields last week. Didn't really make much of a difference. It's not going to make much of a difference going forward. Looks like in the South, it's going to be a race between the Panthers and Tampa Bay. It was a race between Tampa Bay and the Falcons last year. It wasn't really much of a race. Tampa Bay is pretty much in control of that division until they get better players in that division. The Jets will be in the cellar. They'll be looking for a top 5 pick next year. They'll be trying some things out there with Taylor. I mean, he's been a lifelong backup. Can't expect but so much. If I was to take this game, I'd take the Falcons simply because Kirk Cousins might just want to put up a decent showing since he's going to be out there. He's one of the big cash grabbers of the quarterbacks out there, not playing much, getting paid a lot. All right, our next game will be the Cardinals and the Buccaneers. Two teams that have been reeling lately. Cardinals can't seem to get a W at all, and the Buccaneers have been taking some losses in some high leverage matchups. And Baker Mayfield was injured last week also with the loss, so that stings. But they still have the Buccaneers favorite, and for a good reason, because the Cardinals on the road, and the Cardinals do not do well on the road. They do not do well at this point in the season at all. They might get a couple more wins, but I don't think this week will be it. I think whoever they have coming in for Baker this week will do a good enough job with the weapons that they have. Look for a couple of their receivers to be back healthy, not all three, but at least two of them, and to them to get the running game going. I like the Buccaneers both on the money line and on the spread. All right, our next matchup will be the Rams and the Panthers. Panthers playing at home. You can see the bookie huge spread out there. There's nobody really injured or anything. It's just the Rams are one of the hottest teams in the league. Like I said, number one in the NFC right now. And they've been looking good this year. They've been handling opponents and haven't had too many upsets except for the primetime upset. But they got their vengeance a couple weeks back. And the Panthers, like I said, they've been up and down about 500 all year, which is actually an improvement from last year because they won't be getting a top 5 pick this year. I don't believe the Panthers will be making the playoffs. I don't think the division race will be that close. I'm looking for the Rams to win this game, but I would take the Panthers once again. I'm going to the Panthers with the points for some reason. I'm just going to do that because that's what I see. All right, our next matchup will be the Seahawks and the Vikings. Seahawks been doing pretty good this year. Sam Darnold has been leading to some crucial W's. The Vikings can't get it all together. J.J. McCarthy is going to be back on the shelf once again, and they're going to look to try to put something together in Seattle. I look forward to not really be a close game. I don't like the spread just because the way the Seahawks play with a lot of run, ball control offense, and the Vikings could possibly get a couple scores out there. They do have still have the offensive weapons with Jefferson and Addison and Mason and Aaron Jones and the rest of those guys. So I would also take the Vikings. I would take the Vikings to cover the spread against the Seahawks. All right, our next matchup is the Bills going on the road. A big matchup this week, AFC matchup to play the Steelers. Like I said, Steelers, took a loss last week. You know what I'm saying? Trying to avoid taking another one. And the Bills, like I said, took a loss on prime time as an upset to the Texans. They should be trying to get this W. It's going to be an interesting game. Should be a back and forth game. Bills just really don't have the offensive weapons, it seems like, to really put up too many points on the board outside of Cook. Coleman and Shakir haven't really been stepping up like they should. The Steelers, of course, they've been going with Mason Rudolph, so you just don't know what would have been if Aaron Rodgers could stay healthy. He might be coming back this week. He could be coming back this week, but even though it was a non-throwing injury, it's a pretty tough injury. Not sure if he'll actually be back. This is a game where I'd take the Bills on the money line, and I'd also take the Steelers with the points at home. You're going to see what I did. I actually took the Steelers with the points just because they're going to play tough. They might win, they might not, but I know they're going to play tough and they're at home. All right, next matchup will be an AFC West matchup, the Raiders and the Chargers. One team fighting for a playoff spot. The other team is on the outside, way outside looking in. Raiders took a big loss to the Browns last week, Shedeur Sanders' debut, and the Chargers are just trying to stay in it in that West. They're trying to stay above the Chiefs and at the same time catch the Broncos. So it's going to be interesting down the stretch for the Chargers. Chargers had a lot of East Coast games, early East Coast games this week, which was this year, which is taking a toll on them this season. They've only won 1 out of 2 of those. And they're still in a pretty good position to actually win this division if they can pick it up at 7-4 and coming off the bye. They should be fresh for their stretch run. The Raiders have just not been able to put it together. The whole Geno Smith and Pete Carroll experiment has not been working out, and they have some young talent. They definitely have young talent. They probably would need a young quarterback to go with that young talent. For now, I would take the Chargers. They're at home. I would take the Chargers on the spread. Not just leave it like that because that's like the maximum money line I'd take. And also those Raiders Chargers games could be tight. All right, our next matchup will be Broncos Commanders. Broncos Commanders, what can you say? Broncos trying to keep pace with the Patriots. Commanders are going nowhere fast. Talking about playing their quarterback who they definitely will not play this week. Hopefully won't play again for the rest of the season. Broncos been winning some crucial games. Most of those games have been tight games. The spread is about right. This could be a breakout game for the Broncos on the road. In a late game situation, it is actually a prime time matchup. And I know you keep saying you're getting tired of seeing this. Commanders on prime time. Well, they expected a lot other Commanders this season and didn't get it. So we got 1 or 2 left after this. As far as this game goes, I really see this one being a game where the Broncos actually win by at least double digits. I'm going to say by more than 2 scores, but at least 2 scores. Looks like Bo Nix is putting it together in his second year, getting acclimated with his offense and his players. He's finding Courtney Sutherland a lot more often, and the young Vele out there. They got J.K. Dobbins in the backfield. He's been looking rejuvenated since he came over from the Chargers. I see the Broncos covering the spread, both covering the spread and winning on the money line. This takes us to our Monday night matchup, Giants-Patriots. Super Bowl matchup for a couple of times. Tom Brady doesn't want to talk about it, but I will. Scared NFC East 3-1 against Tom Brady, just in case he forgot. He's undefeated against everybody else in the Super Bowl. Took 2 losses to the Giants. I'm sure the Patriots will be remembering that because they're trying to put their team back together for that Tom Brady-esque run that they went on early in the 2000s. And so they are at home. Like I said, they are the best team in the league. The Giants will be playing tough. Don't know if Jameis Winston will be out there again, but he definitely has the troops ready to play. They almost pulled it off last week, ended up losing to the Lions in overtime. And the Patriots took care of business as they have week after week. They've been a good mid to late season pick to take, and I'm going to take them again. I will take them on the money line just to be safe, because as you can see by my parlays, I'm going to try to get us bet money this week. You know what I'm saying? All right, parlay number 1. We got the Colts on the money line. We got the Jaguars on the money line. We got the Steelers with the spread, and we got the Vikings with the spread. All right, our second parlay, because it's guaranteed winning week, and that's going to be what it is. People was talking about this no-brainer stuff, and like I said, if the Cowboys win this game, then my streak deserves to go down, because, we're going with the Chiefs on the money line. We're taking the Broncos with the spread. We're taking the Buccaneers with the spread, and we're going to take the Patriots and the money line, lock it in. Parlay 3 would be the Eagles on the money line, the Dolphins on the money line, the Ravens with the money line, and the Panthers with the spread. And I parlay 4. Parlay 4 be the Niners with the money line, the Colts with the money line, the Patriots with the money line, the Chargers with the money line, and the Broncos with the money line. All on the money line right there. So there it is. You know what I'm saying? There it is. Touchdown props. Hold on, let me before we get to touchdown props, let's get this thing trying to, like I said, the boys, here's what it is. Touchdown props, we got Jahmyr Gibbs, we got Derrick Henry, we got Devontae Adams, and we got James Cook for that first one. For the second one, we got Kyle Williams. We're going to take him on again. Looked good last week. We got Saquon Barkley. We got Jonathan Taylor to get back in the touchdown column. And we went with J.K. Dobbins. All right. So now for the over-unders, I'm going to see what my man from the street working with. What's up, dog? How you doing? What's going down, player? We hood money. It's hood money out here. You know what I'm saying? We laugh. You been hot. You know what I'm saying? 10 out of 12 W's. You know what I'm saying? We just wanted to hear from you from the holidays. See what you got on tap this week for us. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I'm gonna start off real. I'm gonna start off tomorrow. I'm gonna start off clean. I'm gonna start off Thursday. I like the under in the Cowboys and the Chiefs game.
Hold on. You like the under once again? Is that what you were saying? You like the under?
I like the under in the Chiefs and the Dallas.
All right, there we go.
I'm loving the under in that jump drive.
All right.
I like the under in that New England and that Giants game.
Oh, I was just talking about that game. Yeah, we got to get the under and the New England Giants game.
I got Thursday to Monday jump going.
Right. Heck yeah, pick that money up on Monday.
Right now. Go ahead, give me the over. I like the over in the 49ers and the Browns game.
Okay, yeah, I like that too. Should be a lot of points out there. Sanders doing his thing. Purdy gonna put him down. Purdy gonna put him down, but I like the over. I do like the over on that. You know what I'm saying?
My little shit might come early. I'm liking I didn't know Bengals and Ravens played tomorrow.
They do. They definitely play. They played the late game. Yeah, heck yeah. Heck yeah. What you feeling on that one? What you see?
I might just I might just rack. I already got one on Thursday, right?
Yeah. Take
Got
your
one on
time,
Monday,
player.
so
Take your
wait, yeah.
time.
I'm going to do 2 on Sunday. Go ahead and give me the under in the Texas and the Colts game.
All right, under and Houston and the Colts. All right, that's what it is. That's what it is. All right, so I'm gonna match my joints up, try to, figure out what my joints gonna look like. But
Yeah,
like I say,
yeah.
he had his fish grease right now, so we had to make sure to put that in, make sure it's in there. You know what I'm saying? Heck yeah. All right, man. Well, shoot, I'm probably, probably swing through a little later on, kick it with you for a minute, kick the Shane Bezos whistle thing, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. But I'm gonna get at you a little later.
All right, bet.
All right. All right, here we go. All right, so there you have it with the over-unders. Under, 3 unders this week. KC Dallas, New England and Giants. We got San Francisco and Cleveland, and we got Houston and Indy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go off my man from the streets, because I'm looking at it. I'm gonna look at it, and here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and take the under on Atlanta, and the Jets. You know what I'm saying? Then we're gonna take the over on the Giants. Oh no, he got the under on that one. All right, hold on. Let me regroup here. We're gonna take the under. On the Bills Steelers. Under Bills Steelers. My handwriting isn't so great right here. We're gonna take the over for Washington and the Broncos in Denver. And last but not least, that thing look interesting. Let me take we're gonna take the under on the Saints Dolphins. Under on Miami. Oh, we kind of matched it up this week. All right, well, recap board. It's gonna look a lot clear. On the recap board, but there you have it. You know what I'm saying? All over unders right there. You'll be able to see it. Handwriting a bit better. It's 3 unders right there. I can barely see it myself. Under Atlanta Jets, under Bills Pittsburgh, over Washington and Denver, and under in the Miami New Orleans game. So there you have it. You know what I'm saying? It's been another week of Hood Money. You know what I'm saying? Benny Boom. We kept it tight. We kept it close to the vest, but we made it happen. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, at the final touches on them last, meal preparations. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be coming around looking for a plate as I usually does. You know what I'm saying? We be back at it next week. You know what I'm saying? We got bass coming up. Like I said, we got college coming up. You know what I'm saying? We got extra parlays. We're on the road to 20. Let's get it and let's have it. You know what I'm saying? We need it. Here at Hood Money. This is Benny Boom. And yeah, have a good holiday and let's get this money.